Hello.
It's all about Ghanaian languages. It's all about Ghanaian languages. It's all about Ghanaian languages.
Everyone, and welcome to Huniah-Yourhighness TV once again, and we are looking at the Ga verbs. Okay, yeah. So now this is the introduction to Ga verbs. We had earlier looked at the basic and common everyday words. Okay, that is pertaining to Ga verbs. So look at basic and common verbs in the Ga language. Okay, so you can look in the description box below and you'll find that lesson. And this is the second part where I explain the basic concept of verbs in the Ga language. I wanted you to have an idea about that lesson so that when I start explaining stuff in this video, you would understand where I'm coming from. And welcome if you are new to this channel, and to catch up with us, okay, we have done several Ga lessons. This lesson basically teaches the Ga language, Dagbon language, and the Ga and Dagbon culture. Actually, for the culture part, we produce cultural videos and we explain with subtitles to help you understand. So it's more of a real life simulation. You see it in real life, and then the explanations are below for you to understand what is going on. All right, so without much time, let's just go. I'll give my address at the end of the video. Please stay put to the end of the video because there's some important information I'm supposed to give you if you are new to this channel to help you navigate. Otherwise, you can check the description box below. Okay, all the information is there. As you will see more, you see in some older versions of YouTube, you will see description. In some modern versions, you will see more. You will see that at the subscriber count, Huniah-Yourhighness TV written down there. You will see more. Just click on the more. Everything about this video would be displayed. All right. So verbs, the Ga verbs are a bit different from the English verbs. Not so different, but they may be different in terms of forms. Okay, how they are formed may be different from English. Every language is unique on its own. All right, so what makes the Ga verb different? First of all, the Ga people, okay, like English people, use verbs to command, which is very, very obvious. So when you want to command someone, come, go, eat, take, you are commanding. But then for the Ga language, verbs can come in either a simple form or a compound form. So then there are two types of verbs, either the simple verb or the compound verb. Simple verb or compound verb. What's a simple verb in Ga? Simple verbs in Ga are type of verbs that come as a single word. They are standalone words. For example, ba is simply come, ya is simply go. Okay, jo is simply dance, kwɛmɔ look. But then what of the compound verbs? Compound verbs are verbs that need, okay, they need what we call postpositions. They need a postposition or an affix to make it more meaningful. We've studied postpositions in Ga already, so if you are lost about just search Ga postpositions on this channel. It is in two parts, part 1 and part 2, and I explained everything. Well, this lesson is a general lecture. I'm just lecturing you. But then there will be Ga verbs 3, where we shall now be taking everything topic by topic. So just stay put and you understand everything with time. All right, so let's take for example yeni, ye eat, ni. So yeni simply means eat. So realize in Ga verbs 1 and Ga verbs 2, I taught you that eat is either ye or yeni. But when you say ye doesn't really make meaning as compared to yeni eat. So ye is the general eat, but the ni, which is the affix, okay, or yeah, the affix must join to make it more meaningful. That when the ni is not there, it may carry meaning, but it's not that meaningful. Let's take another word, tashi. Tashi, sit down. The ta would naturally mean sit, but then maybe you can say in tabie, I'm sitting here. But then you can't just tell someone ta and the person will understand. Let's say tashi. Tashi, the person will know this is sit down. So the general idea of compound verbs. So there are two types of verbs, the simple verbs and the compound verbs. Okay, like I generally explained, like I had earlier explained. So let's take nyɛmɔ. Nyɛmɔ means walk. So you can guess it's a simple verb. Nyɛmɔ. Fitemɔ. Do it. Okay, fitemɔ, do it. So it's also a simple verb. Maybe fa, remove. Fa, remove. Jo, dance. So you realize the first one, fitemɔ, nyɛmɔ, now fa, jo. So what do you notice? You notice some verbs have more ending, okay, and some do not have the more ending. So ba doesn't have more ending, ya doesn't have, but kwɛmɔ, look, has a more ending. So this brings us to the two groups of Ghan verbs. There are two groups of verbs in the Ghan language. Those with the more suffix and those without the more suffix. Okay, in linguistics, suffix is just something we add to a word. Okay, we add. I put the add in quotes. Yes, because it's not necessarily adding, but then it's just a way to help you to understand. So we have verbs with more suffix in the Ghan language and verbs without the more suffix in the Ghan language. So in as much as you have simple and compound verbs, okay, a verb can be simple and either have a more suffix or will not have the more suffix. And a verb can also be compound and also have the more suffix or will not have the more suffix. So after the more and more suffix, doesn't care whether you are simple or compound. So you get it. So let's just take some examples here. When we say plant, okay, plant is duni. So plant, maybe plant a seed. So a seed is wu. So duni is just the verb plant or to plant. So you can just remove the ni because the ni is a a compound verb. So because a compound verb, even though in as much as duni comes as two, plant. Okay, now when I want to say plant a seed, the ni must go and then the actual verb must stay. So dunwu, plant a seed, dunwu, or do chowu. Cho is a tree, so plant a seed of a tree, do chowu. I hope you are getting it. Maybe kwɛmɔ, look. Okay, it has the more suffix. Look at him, kwɛmɔle. Look at his face, kwɛmɔ here. So there's a lesson that deals with the parts of the human body in Ghan. You can check the description, but you can just search for it. Parts of the human body. Kwɛmɔ here. Look at his face or look at her face. Okay, and it goes on and on. This is the introduction, so I don't want to delve deep. We are just trying to understand the basic concepts. Maybe understand. Understand is what's the name? A compound verb. So understand is no. No means here. Then shishin. No shishin. Here under. No shishin. No shishin. Okay, now let's look at some pronoun forms in Ghan. First of all, pronouns complement verbs in the Ghan language. And one thing I want you to know is in the Ghan language, unlike English, we don't conjugate verbs. What do I mean? We don't conjugate verbs or we don't inflect verbs. What do I mean by this? Let's take the English verb to be. Verb to be. You not say I. You may say I be, you be, but that's subjunctive and mostly outdated English. So usually what we say is to be. I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, you are, they are. So I think there's a subject verb agreement here. I, subject, it agrees with the verb am. You agrees with the verb are. You am is from, because you will not agree with am. You will not agree with is. But in Ghana it's not so. When you take duni, okay, me duni, o duni, e duni, wo duni, nye duni, amen duni. Okay, we don't conjugate, we don't inflect. There's nothing like subject verb agreement in the Ghanaian language. The verb that you know is the same verb used throughout. But then there's a trick to this. We don't conjugate our verbs, rather we inflect our pronouns, or we conjugate our pronouns. Before you start screaming your head off, before you start saying you're confused, okay, I have dealt with the pronouns lessons long time on this channel. So simply search Ghana pronouns. Okay, it's up, I think it's 5 or 6. So Ghana pronouns 1, introduction to Ghana pronouns 2, Ghana subject pronouns, both past and present situation. I taught them on this channel. Ghana pronouns 3, continuous pronouns and objects. Ghana pronouns 4, future pronouns. Ghana pronouns 5, emphatic pronouns. Yeah, so I think there are 6 because the 6 parts I mixed them together. So do not really worry. I've taught all the pronouns, what you will need to understand the verbs, the inflection. I've done all that already. So please, after this lesson, do well to check the parts of the body. Okay, the Ghana verbs 1. Okay, then what's the name? The Ghana pronouns. Okay, if you are new to this channel also, you can just ignore all this and start from Ghana basics 1. Okay, and climb up, and that with that one is simple to catch up, but even though it will take time, but you'll be able to catch up. And do well to watch the festival videos too, because so many things you're supposed to understand about the Ghana people is being taught in those videos as well. So it helps you to understand who we are as a people, and some words I may not teach you during the lessons. Okay, you may learn them whilst watching the festivals. Okay, so to move on, we inflect pronouns like I earlier taught you. Okay, so maybe, but then with the continuous pronouns I want to teach you some 2 variants. Let's take I am, you are. Now we have the Ghana dialect and the Nongwa dialect. Okay, for the Ghana dialect, this is how it goes. Me, I am. Me, o, e, wo, nye, ame, a. Let's take it again. Me, o, e, wo, okay, wo, nye, ame, a. So I've said this, but how does it make sense as raw as this? So let me just help you. Maybe let's say come, ba. Me ba, I'm coming. Me ba, I'm coming. Oh ba, you are coming. You get it? E ba, he is coming, or she is coming, or it is coming. Wo ba, nyeba, then ameba. So please, I hope you understand the simple way this was done. Okay, now I told you it's a variant to this. Okay, mostly the people of Nongwa, they will not say me, they will say ming, o, e, wong, nyeng, amen. Okay, so ming, ong, e, wong, okay, wong, nyeng, amen, amen, then ang. So let's say that, let's say the same ba, mimba, that's the Nungwa variant, mimba, omba, emba, nyemba, womba, amemba, amba. Okay, but the standard Ga will be miba, oba, but Nungwa will be mimba, omba, emba. Now let's take go. General Ga will be like miya, oya, eya. Okay, but the Nungwa will be like miya, onya, eya, wonya, nyenya, amenya. So please, I hope you are getting these basic explanations I'm giving. Yeah. So with these explanations given, okay, try and understand this basic concept of the Ga verbs, because we are going to launch into the lesson itself. But before we launch, you have to know, I have to introduce you to it. So like I told you, we don't inflect verbs, rather we inflect pronouns. And this is what makes the Ga language very unique. Okay, so if you understand, so just get a book, write everything down, and you'll be good to go. So I'm not going to give you examples of verbs because I've done that in the previous Ga verbs 1 lesson. And going ahead, okay, now the Ga verbs 3, what you're supposed to expect is you're going to launch into Ga verbs 3. That will be verbs with more suffix. You're going to launch into it, how it is inflected, and lots of examples. Then Ga verbs, so verbs without more suffixes, how it is done. And then in that side, we'll be looking at the compound verbs, tashing. Okay, sometimes we simplify them to tying and all that. We're going to look into all that. Then we shall look at habitual markers in the Ga language. Habitual markers. What's the difference between progressive and progressive statements in the Ga using verbs and habitual markers? We'll be looking at that. Maybe he often does it, she usually does this. We have just a simple word we used to do all this. We shall be looking at that as well. Then we shall be looking at complex verbs or separable affixes, where Ga tends to behave like German and Dutch. That's, if I say Dutch, that's in Hollandish, the Netherlands. Yes, at a point in time, Ga tends to behave like the Dutch or the German language. Okay, we are going to look at that. That is the complex verbs or verbs with separable affixes. Okay, and we are going to delve deeper into it, so do not really worry. Converting verbs to pronouns, verb forms in Ga, nature of verbs. You have a long way to go. You have a very long way to go. And so we shall pause here for now. But I just want you to know that if you have a question, please do well to ask your question in the description box below. And if you have any issues, okay, you can contact me by WhatsApp or by email. I'll surely respond. And yes, also you can support me by purchasing my book Know Ghana Better, which documents all the tribal histories, festivals, ethnic histories in Ghana. Purchasing the book goes a long way. You can buy the soft copy from africaread.org, or you can simply buy the hard copy. You can simply contact me and I'll get it to you. Also, if you feel you want me to teach you privately, do what contact. Well, if you wish to read more articles pertaining to Ghana, I write naturally a lot, so do want to check my blog, historicalhuniah.blogspot.com. Check the description box below, you'll find it there. Our page, Ghanaian Language Advocacy, on Telegram. You can join to get regular updates on this channel so that you don't get lost on what is new. So what I'll say is thank you very, very much for joining me for today. And do not forget to ask your questions. I'll gladly answer. Nah, yeah, you wanna done.
go, go.